You have a woman that was asked a question a lot of us have been asked on jobs about why we wear certain things as black people. Let's go ahead and check that out.
So I have a coworker that was comfortable enough coming to me asking me a racial question. She was like, not to be offensive or anything. And I was like, oh Lord. It's like, what are you gonna ask me? Because she's one of those coworkers. And she was like, why do some people wear black excellence across their shirt? Like, if I walked around with white excellence on my shirt, then I would be the bad guy and I would get attacked. And I said, God, I really had to think for a second, because I was like, okay, for one, we're at work. I just don't like talking about like racial or political stuff at work. You know, and she, you know, well, it's a lot of history that goes behind it. And I was like, well, are you wanting to be educated on that? And on her face, she was just kind of like, you know, it like as if that would have been a little too much, and she might have felt uncomfortable if I would have said something in that educational moment. And she was just like, I just always wonder, that's it. And I was like, well, okay. You know, I'm at this point now, I'm not going to waste my time, my breath on stuff like that, especially at work.
Now, one thing that you should never do on the job is answer any kind of political questions. Yes, even asking about race is a political question. You can answer those kind of questions like this sister was asked one of two ways. The easy way would be, I don't really get into politics at work. And they say with politics, no, I'm asking about, no, that's considered politics. I don't get into politics at work. I'm here to do a job, you know, and that's that. And walk off from that kind of conversation. If you're not at least skilled in a way to handle that. Or if you want to engage into it, this is what you do. So she asked the question, you know, if y'all wear black, you know, people wear black excellence, but what if I wear white excellence, I'll be the bad guy. If you want to entertain it, this is how you entertain it. What people are you talking about specifically? Because she said people, right? Make them say, well, like black people. Okay. Then follow up with the next question. You said you'll be the bad guy. Why do you feel that way? Oh, well, if I wear that, people will think I'm racist because I wore something like that. And anytime somebody say wear white, you know, they say it's racism. And why do you think people in society feel that way about that term? Make them answer themselves. They know the answer to those questions. They always want to come to you to ask you stupidity when they already know the answer to their own questions, right? And you just keep reverting a question back to them based off of what you hear. But this is what I will tell black people. When they come to you with those questions, you're not there to educate. And if you're going to educate, you do it off the clock and you get paid for it. That's one of those times that you have to say, no, F you, pay me. That's bottom line. You can tell them, look, I don't do that kind of education on the clock. And if I do that kind of education, I gotta be paid. So if you want to know, you can book a time outside the job. I can give you my schedule, and I can send you an invoice. And invoices must be paid up front. I book by the hour, and whether we do a education session for 1 minute or 60 minutes, the pay is the same. You don't educate them for free. There's enough books out there for them to get educated on. There's enough podcasts. There's enough whatever audio books, don't matter, that they can get all the education they want. We are not here to educate the folks. If we're going to educate them, even in the area of bathing, stop casting your pearls before swine. Make them pay you for your pearls, no matter what it is. I don't care what they struggling with. They got it. So you're going to pay me because you haven't paid me my reparations yet. So I got to start getting my reparations in little small increments, and you got it. So if you want information from me, you're going to pay me for that. Why it got to be about money? Because we are the group that suffers with the racial wealth gap. So yes, everything we do is about the bag. Everything. I want all Black Americans to go into 2025, and when you go into it, no, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me for my time. You're going to pay me for anything that I got going on. If I decide to volunteer something, it's because I decide and God has impressed it upon my heart. And if I want to volunteer my time or give some information, it's going to be within my community because my community has suffered the most. I'm going to prioritize my community. The rest of you, you're paying me for my time. You're paying me for my education. And I may not even want to take your money. It just depends on what I want. Because sometimes certain information is not available. Like, for instance, certain information I have is not available to the general public. It's not. You can't pay me no amount of money to give you certain information I know. You understand? Because no, that's just not going to happen. If I said, that's why, say, oh, why don't you create a course and listen, I don't want to really create a course in how I do things or how I move, even its basics, because maybe them basics I'm putting out there, you think it's only going to be in the Black community? No. I guess if I did decide to do something, it'll be private events. It won't be online like that, where anybody can just pay for it. Because trust me, I don't care if the course was $1,000. I don't want somebody to get certain knowledge I have. No, that took me years to get, and they can just get it real quick, and because they are who they are and the access they have, they can go make $1 billion off of my thing I've been doing. No, it's not happening. It's not coming out of me. But it's not our job to educate them. We've done enough. So you decide to do it in the future, make them pay you, and definitely don't do it on the job.